Hey everyone, this is Mike and today we are taking another look at Hades. I think the last time we took a look at the game was when it just released on Steam, where they added in a bunch of new stuff like the weapon aspects, the Pact of Punishment, and then also pretty much the whole gameplay loop when it comes down to trying to escape from hell. Now, ever since then, they have added two new updates, if I'm not mistaken, which is the God Demeter, which got added together with a new weapon aspect for the spear, and now earlier this week they also did the Nighty Night update, where they finally gave Nyx a face, which, by the way, the art of her looks amazing, but then again, the art of pretty much everything in this game looks amazing in my opinion. Always really like the art direction that Supergiant is going for with their games. But not only that, a little bit more important, other than just giving Nyx a face, is the fact that we now have another weapon available to us as well, which are the fists. Now, the fists are a very melee, like very close range melee focused weapon with pretty much no AoE at all. Now, the way you can kind of combat this is, of course, to get certain boons from the gods to increase your AoE potential a little bit, like for example what I have on my cast, pretty big AoE attack right there. And then later on I was also able to upgrade my special attack to also get some AoE in there when I used the dash version of my special. So you kind of have to work around with those kind of things a little bit to still make sure that you do have some AoE crowd controlling abilities, because this weapon is definitely not an AoE weapon at all. It's more of a close range fighter and dealing mostly single target damage. Now, I did have a pretty decent setup going into this one. I had the Aphrodite dash, which, by the way, if you don't know how it works, basically when you dash all in a small AoE around you, you weaken enemies. So since this weapon wants you to get close to other enemies, dashing in close, weakening them, makes it even easier for you to take them down. And then I also had the Zeus aspect for my basic attack later on as well, which knocks enemies back, so I could basically dash in close, weaken them, knock them into a wall to get that wall damage going. And since this is a very fast-paced weapon when it comes down to like their normal basic attacks, you got that wall knock damage, whatever the thing's called, quite frequently as well to proc. So a really good weapon, really cool weapon, and it's a lot of fun to play as well. The weapon aspect that I was using was the second one. I'm not sure about the name, but basically what it did is, instead of my special just being a normal uppercut, I would draw in the enemies first and then uppercut, and the range on this was actually pretty big. So you can just stand relatively far away from an enemy, pull it in close, uppercut it, weaken the enemy as well, because of, I believe, like it's on the uppercut itself that you weaken enemies to the rest of your attacks. So it was a really nice opener. You just like stand far away, uppercut your enemy, maybe dash through them to also apply that weakness, and then just mash them into a wall and pretty much like melt them right there. So pretty fun update right there with the new fists weapons. Of course, every time there's a new weapon, since this game is pretty much very focused on all of the different weapons and playstyles that are available with that, it's really fun to just have another option available to us. Now, of course, when it comes down to me personally, the game is still in early access, so I don't play it as much as I probably would like to, but that's because I just want to not get burnt out on the game just yet. Basically, every time there's a new update, I just play a run or two to kind of get a feel for all of the new things that they introduced. And then I basically put the game aside again, play some other stuff, like for example Ori and the Will of the Wisp right now, and then I just come back whenever there's a new update. So when they added Demeter, I just did a run or two, get a feel for all of the different boons that she had to offer, and then I just call it quits. And then now we have this new update with the fists, which the fists are a pretty fun weapon, so I decided to do a run or two to kind of see how they played and all of the different stuff that you can get with the gods on those weapons as well. To kind of just get a feel for things of when I want to use them a little bit more. So far, Hades, it's shaping up to be a really good game. They're still adding in a decent amount of content at a very steady pace, so pretty much every month you can expect to come back to this game, see some new stuff, new weapon aspects, new god, new boons, that kind of stuff. So it's really fun to see that. Not only that, because the weapon is not the only thing that they added in the latest patch, they also changed the House of Hades a little bit. So there is a new area that you can go and explore a little bit as well. But not just that, one that is more impactful when it comes down to your gameplay is that the mirror of enhancement, I'm not entirely sure on the name, probably butchered it right there, but basically the mirror that you go to spend your dark essence now has a mirror side to it, so to speak, where all of your upgrades now have a flip side, so you can basically toggle between the two of them whenever you feel like it, and then you basically can customize your runs even more when it comes down to picking the specific passives that you prefer yourself. So go take a look at the mirror of enhancement, whatever that thing's called. I'm just gonna call it like that for now. and check out all of the different passives that you can toggle in between, and then see maybe some stuff that you might not like as much, switch it over to the different aspect and then see if you prefer that one a little bit more. So far shaping up to be a pretty good game. Last two updates we had Demeter the God come out with all of her boons, then we have the fists in this update together with the mirror of enhancement, getting that flip side on it as well to experiment with a little bit more too. So far really enjoying it. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I'll leave a link to the game again in the description if you have not bought it yet, because I definitely do recommend you pick it up now, because there's already so much content in the game, and I believe they're going to make it more expensive when the game does finally release completely towards later this year, basically. I'm not entirely sure what the plan was on when to release it, but it is going to be this year if I'm not mistaken. So still a pretty good game to look forward to if you still do not want to pick it up just yet with all of the content that is already available in there. But I've rambled on for long enough. That's pretty much Hades. That's been a quick rundown of the last two updates that were added into the game. Pretty fun so far. I'm just gonna play maybe a little bit more and then get back to trying to finish Ori and the Blind Forest, or Ori and the Will of the Wisps, because that's a game that I've been really enjoying at the moment and I do want to get that done. So that's gonna be it for me. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.